Welcome aboard Just Jets with your captain, Matt O'Leary. Buckle up and enjoy the ride.
Oh boy, if we ever needed a Jets therapy session. Ladies and gentlemen, I am Matt O'Leary. Welcome to episode 45 of Just Jets. The 0-16 season is out the window. Trevor Lawrence is potentially out the window. And we're going to get into a ton of venting and Becton and Connor McGovern comments. A lot to get to. But before all of that, I wanted to talk to you guys about MANSCAPED. Not only are they number one in men's grooming needs, you got to do your manscaping for the holiday season, get your stocking stuffers with the Lawnmower 3.0 or the Weed Whacker. Well, now they added to the game. Look what they sent me. They got cologne now, folks. You could be smelling good when you're doing your podcast, or maybe, I don't know, maybe you don't do a podcast. Maybe you just want to go out when things open back up, and I completely understand that. But now you could smell all nice, and I would not put that on my body if I didn't really think it smelled good. It's tremendous. So use my promo code JETS20 at manscaped.com. That is promo code JETS20 for 20% off and free shipping on all of their products. Absolutely worth checking it out. So if you haven't already, check it out, manscaped.com, and use that promo code. So let's jump into it. We will start with that wild game. So the Jets go on the road to the Rams in Los Angeles on the West Coast and somehow win this game. How? How is that possible? The Jets opened up, or closed, I guess, but the Jets were 17-point underdogs in this game. The Rams were favored by 17 or 17 and a half, depending on where you got the game. That's insane to me. And on top of that, so obviously, and for good reason, the Jets were heavy underdogs, huge underdogs in this game. So let's look at, before we get into what actually happened, the context of how crazy this is. The Rams are fighting for first place in their division, so they have a ton to play for. It's a home game for them. But for the Jets, in their last 17 West Coast games heading up into this contest, the Jets were 3-14. That's atrocious. Their last win came in 2016 against the 49ers, an awful 49ers team. And I believe it was Bilal Powell had the game-winning touchdown in overtime. Unbelievable. That was the last West Coast win. But then if you just want to look at Adam Gase, well, he was 2-12 on the road as the Jets head coach. His only wins coming against Washington last year and Buffalo in Week 17 when they had their third stringers out there. So that's a thing for some reason. That's just incredible, but nonetheless. The Jets somehow go on, and it was a weird start because the Rams went 3-and-out a couple of times. The Jets marched right down the field and got points for the 8th game in a row. Their opening drive offense looks good. Ty Johnson looked good for sure. And then just a ton of mistakes. You had a blocked punt to set the Jets up in good field position. And you know what? At this point, I was still semi-optimistic that the Jets were going to blow the game because they were leaving so many points on the board early on, which is just absolutely nuts. And when you think of it, there were times where the Jets started in great field position off the Goff. There was a Goff interception, and there was a lot of things where the Jets were set up in great field position, and they were getting field goals. And then they were making mistakes and letting them go right down the field, like Adam Gase mismanaging the end of the half was just classic tank. And then you think, okay, like this team, it's going to be, yeah, they're up big right now, but they're going to lose this game 27-23. And yeah, the Rams won't cover, but it doesn't matter because the tank's going to roll on. In the second half, it really started to look like that. There were a couple of plays where you're like, okay, this makes sense. The Jets start to go 3-and-out. The offense didn't really do anything. And then the Rams were catching a break. Like, for instance, Marcus May, there was a ball that went off his hands. That was a deflection that turned into a reception and a first down. Just a lot of things going right. Until it wasn't, with very bizarre play calling from Sean McVay on 3rd and 4th down. I think he's a very good coach. But on 3rd down and 4, he decides to throw a bomb. And then on 4th and 4, he again tries to go to the right side. That, to me, doesn't make sense. I don't understand that. Yeah. So that's something that's going to be talked about a lot, obviously, because that was a bizarre play call. And then, of course, Frank Gore. On the back of Frank Gore, the Jets won this game. Sam managed the game. I don't think he played particularly great. I thought he was okay in this game. It wasn't anything that was like, wow, that was awesome. You had that one throw that Braxton Berrios dropped where it's like, okay, that was really good. But other than that, it was a game manager-like performance from Sam Darnold with 207 passing yards. It was very much not an enjoyable win for a lot of reasons because you lose out on Trevor Lawrence for now, hopefully. But fans were rightfully upset. And that kind of leads me into my next topic, which is Mekhi Becton saying that you're not really a Jets fan if you're rooting for losses. And Connor McGovern comes out and says that it's easy to say when you're sitting on the couch eating pizza and chips. Now, here's my take. I kind of see both sides, but it also kind of gets me fired up at the same time. I'm very feeling weird on this. So when it comes to Mekhi Becton, he's a rookie. And on the field, like these kids, they're trying to win. The coaches and the players are 100% fighting for their jobs. The tanking doesn't exist between the white lines on the football field. The front office might align themselves for the future, and the fan base could talk about the tank and stuff like that, but in between those white lines, they're trying to win, and they're playing hard. So I understand the frustration of being 0-13, but at the same time, the reason why fans are rooting for losses is not because they want to be miserable and want their team to lose forever. They want to set themselves up for a sustained period of success after that. That's the reasoning behind it. We've seen how many times in recent years where meaningless December wins cost you things. For example, last year, the Jets finishing 7-9, they were a really bad football team that beat up on a Mason Rudolph Steelers team in week 16 and the Bills third stringers in week 17 and finished 7-9. That was probably a 4-12 team. Like that's a team that probably should have went 4-12 and maybe you would have gotten rid of Adam Gase and maybe you could have salvaged Sam Darnold after that one awful year with Gase. But instead they go 7-9, you bring him back and you have this disaster. And we saw, like in 2016, there were times where the Jets won some meaningless games. In 2017, they won meaningless games and had to trade up for Sam Darnold. In 2018, on the back of, oh my God, what was his name? Elijah McGuire with that win on the road in Buffalo. That cost them the number 2 pick. So you could have got Nick Bosa in that spot. Quinnen's been solid this year, so that's a plus. But there's so many instances where they have cost themselves draft picks and stuff like that. And now with a guy like Trevor Lawrence, who is going to be this generational player, it's definitely it's frustrating. So while Mekhi Becton, while I see where he's coming from, I really don't agree with him because fans have been through a lot of crap. He's been here for 5 minutes. I've been here for 25 years. There's fans a lot older than I am who have seen some dark times. And even the younger fans, like all they know is losing. Like the weird thing is, for me, I grew up in the early 2000s where the Jets were good. They made the playoffs in 01, 02, 04, 06. Didn't make it in 2008, but I mean, they had a good year and looked like they were going to the playoffs with Brett Favre. We know what happened in 2009 and 2010, and then it just went right off the rails after that. But from 97 through 2010, that was a sustained period of pretty good success for this franchise. But the younger kids who maybe they were around in the late or to mid to late 2010s or whatever, their best season is a 10-6 random Fitzpatrick year. Like that's it from the entire decade. You have the 2010 year. 11 was a massive disappointment. 12 was bad. 13, 14, 16, 17, 18, 19. For most of the decade, you were really bad. Fans are tired of it. But those guys, like I said, they've been here for 13, 14 games. They don't get it, man. They haven't been through it. So we'll see what happens. But as of right now, the Jets are not in the running for Trevor Lawrence. They have a game this week coming up against Cleveland, who is playing really good football and has a chance for the division. So I think they will be playing hard. No, I don't expect the Jets to win again. I know that the Jets are the home team, and maybe this could help them out in some capacity. Maybe some people don't buy into Baker Mayfield or this Browns team. They think they're pretenders. this team has a lot to play for. They are much better coached. They're a solid team. I think that they will be able to handle this New York Jets team. I don't think the Jets have a repeat performance. So I'm going to take the Browns this week. Let's see. I'll give you a score. I have no idea. I haven't even looked at the spreads. That's how disgusted. That's how you know I'm disgusted, because I haven't looked at what the spread is for this week yet for the Browns and the Jets. I'm bummed out about potentially losing Trevor Lawrence. It stinks, but I'll take the Browns in like a 27-13 kind of game. I think they win by 2 touchdowns. So there you go. So with that, we're going to get to the voicemails. There's a lot of them. I have to go through a lot, and there's a lot of reactions. So let's get into it. Let's have our Jets therapy session. First up is John David from New Jersey. Wants to know, well, now what the hell do we do?
Hi, Matt. This is John David. Just calling from New Jersey. Just wanted to ask you just a certain question about, I think we're fresh off of the win now against the Rams, and what's going to happen now in terms of, how their offseason looks like, right? Like, everything has been in such clear direction going on 113 up until this point. So where do we go with the coaching recruitment? Obviously, we don't have that Trevor Lawrence to bring in the coaches anymore. What do we do with possibly keeping Sam Darnold? Justin Fields hasn't exactly looked the greatest. This is going to swing our entire offseason in a different way that we haven't seen in a long time since the beginning of the season, obviously, since we've been looking at Trevor. Another show, thanks.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Thanks for checking in. It is going to make things different, because with the number 2 pick, there are so many different avenues you can go down. You could go with a quarterback, which I think is the right decision at 2. I prefer Zach Wilson, and yes, I was saying that before his big game last night, and this call was before that, but you could either take Zach Wilson or Justin Fields. You could trade back. You can take Penny Sewell. You could stick with Sam Darnold. I think there's a lot of risk if you are sticking with Sam Darnold and how he played. You are basing what Sam Darnold did in his first 2 years and just completely ignoring the very strong mechanical regression from him this year, which is very, very scary. Is it fixable? Maybe, but that is a very big gamble, one that I'm not willing to take. So my solution would be to draft Zach Wilson. That's what I would do at 2. No, I'm not trading back and trying to draft him. No, I wouldn't take Justin Fields over him, although I think Justin Fields is an interesting prospect. I'm not as high on him out clearly because he's not my quarterback 2. He's my 3rd quarterback from this year's draft class, but I don't feel comfortable sticking with Sam Darnold going into his 4th year, because then you kind of be putting your new coach in a position like, okay, you're stuck with this quarterback now who is a project, like it or not. And I feel like you're going to be able to, or you will be limiting who is going to want to come and take this job. If your number 1 choice, whoever that is, let's just use Matt Campbell as the example. He's not everyone's number 1 choice, but he's high up on a lot of lists. Let's say Matt Campbell comes in and says he likes Sam Darnold. Okay, I'm not 100% sold on it, but I could live with that. But if it's, hey, Christopher or Woody Johnson comes back and it's like, and you got to keep Sam Darnold, and Joe Douglas is going to try and do the search, and he's like, I know we have the number 2 pick, and our quarterback was playing like 2005 Brooks Bollinger this past year, but we're going to roll with him in 2021. A lot of people might pass on that. Some will take it, but what's the quality? That's the question that I have. So it's complicated. It really is. Let's go to Eric, who's calling in from Long Island, who's got some reaction after the game.
Hey, Matt, it's Eric from Long Island. I don't know how you're feeling right now. I just feel like I got the crap kicked out of me by the team I root for. But they're good at that. They've been doing that to me for 30 years now, with the Marino fake spike, to Doug Bryan missing 3 field goals in overtime against the Steelers, to Ryan Fitzpatrick, blowing it when we could have gotten to the playoffs, to just, the Keith Byers and Wayne Corbett fumble in the AFC title game against Denver. We would have romped the Falcons that year.
Preaching right now.
Do it again. It would have been well worth it to be 0-16 if we got Trevor Lawrence. I saw him play on Saturday man, he's everything you want. 6'6", he can take a beating. He just gets it. Unfortunately, the Jets don't. I mean, if we were a competent organization, I'd say, okay, let's roll with whoever the next guy available is. Do you have any faith that they can develop somebody other than Lawrence, who's a sure shot, who's like a Michael Jordan or LeBron James? I have none. I have no confidence that they can turn Fields or Wilson or any of these guys. If we took Josh Allen, you think Josh Allen would be where he is?
No.
I don't think so. I sometimes think, where would Patrick Mahomes be if we took him? I think we'd still be decent because he's a sensational talent, but other than that, I feel like that's what we need is a layup. I have no – I mean, this is an organization that hired Adam Gase. Who hires Adam Gase? He's the most hated man in football by players. Like,
True.
He's a loser. He has loser written all over him. And now people are going to talk about keeping Darnold? Hell no. I don't even know if I want to root for this team anymore. I've just been tortured for years.
I get it.
This. I'm normally a calm guy. I am pissed off. What is this one win going to do? I want to know when we're in quarterback purgatory for the next 10 years and he's ripping it up in Jacksonville, I want to know what this worth is. I really want to know for all the guys who had to have their one victory, was this worth it? Because we lost our Super Bowl, man. Even when we win, we lose. It's just, it never ends, man. It never ends. Us as fans deserve this, man. We deserve Trevor Lawrence and nothing less. And the worst part is he was willing to come here. That's the best part about it all. He would have came. Thank you. Happy to have a good holidays.
Eric, I really don't know if I could have said it any better myself. I understand the pain. I've been there. I was 9 years old with the Doug Bryan, or was I 8 or 9? Doesn't matter. I was 8 or 9 years old with the Doug Bryan field goals. I get it. That's when it started for me too. That's pain. That's when it all started for me. 2009 went up big in the first half of the AFC title game to get crushed. 2010, I still see the Ben Roethlisberger throw to Antonio Brown in my dreams. 2015, Campbell Tompkins can't catch the freaking football. Oh my God, time and time again, this team just screws with you. It's so frustrating. It really is. You got to pray they get the hire right for a head coach. That's a really big thing. From there, who knows? And the best part is that's the first thing, because you're firing Gase the day after the season ends. The head coaching search commences, and then we'll know. And then we will know what's going to happen here. But it's going to be an interesting offseason, to say the absolute least. So thank you, Eric. We're going to go to Elias and I can't even speak. We're going to Elias in Rochester. My God. Let's see what he has to say with his reaction now.
Hey, Matt. It's Elias from Rochester. Just got done watching this game. Jared Goff is a bum. Honestly, at this point, Sam played well today, but, who cares? We still won. I'd honestly rather, seeing how Fields has been playing, I'd kind of rather go with Sam another year, see if someone can fix him, build a ton around him, and then if he sucks again, you should hopefully have a high enough pick to take another really good quarterback. So I'd rather just kind of build a foundation. I don't know if we'd be, hopefully we're in a draft position to draft another, top quarterback, but worst case, we have to trade up a little bit. But, man, I can't believe this, man. Quentin Williams, I think he might be our best player at this point. Just because seeing how well he played, and then the team without him wasn't, he clearly saw that he wasn't playing. You could, see the effect, but God damn it, man. He had one. Damn, the Jets suck at sucking, man. That's like the biggest issue with them. Like with, McCown in 17, they had to lose, and then they ended up having to trade up for, Sam. And then waste a bunch of second-round picks, whatever, man. This sucks, man. You're going to probably have a lot of calls with a similar tone, but
Yep.
Keep up the great work, man. Go Jaguars, I guess.
Yep.
Bears, please be bad. Colts, please just rest everyone. Ugh, I hate the Jaguars. That's why I'm not gonna do the Duval thing because I don't like them that much right now.
I
But,
get it. You get a pass.
Go. I don't even know who. I hate football right now. But keep up the good work, man.
I get it, dude. I really do. Personally, I'm worried about Darnold going into next year because I'm scared that he's permanently broken. Is there a chance that he could be fixed? Maybe, but we're just going to blindly ignore the 2020 tape at that point and pray that he turns into a Ryan Tannehill, but Ryan Tannehill never played at this bad of a level. That's the thing that I'm trying to put an emphasis on, is just how bad he has looked. If he took a lateral step, then this is no question about it. If he was putting up numbers anywhere close to what he was even last year, then okay, yeah, let's keep rolling with Sam Darnold and, take a wide receiver, maybe Penny Sewell or whoever from there. But it's been scary bad. I get it. We're all frustrated. I'm frustrated. I like Zach Wilson. We're going to talk more about Zach Wilson in a little bit, but it's not Trevor Lawrence. Justin Fields is not Trevor Lawrence. Lawrence is as close as you can get to a sure thing in the NFL. There are no sure things, absolutely, but when he's in the conversation with guys like Andrew Luck, Peyton Manning, and John Elway coming out, like, that is just, oh my God, this is so frustrating. We're going to go to Jeff up next from New Jersey. He's got some more reaction.
Hey, Matt, it's Jeffrey from New Jersey. Been listening to Coldplay for about an hour now. This has really been heartbreaking. And you can't make it up. You really can't. But, they've ruined their chance at getting a good head coach. I mean, at least an attractive one for that matter. You can forget the Pat Fitzgerald rumors now. You can forget Bill Cowher. You can forget all that crap now. All right, just forget it. I don't even know. Like, I was on board with Fields beginning of the season when there was a possibility we'd get the second pick. But now, after just watching him these last few weeks, I can't. I just can't. And I have no idea who we go with now. I mean, Zach Wilson, yeah, he plays for, I don't know, a smaller school maybe. I don't know. I just don't know how to feel about this. But I guess my question is, who could you see as the as the head coach now?
Oh boy,
because I don't know who's going to want to come here anymore. And who do you see as the QB? Because even though we won, Sam still didn't play well. So those are my thoughts right now. Matt, thanks for the show, and as always, go Jags.
Yes, we are still the biggest Jaguars fans in the world. Even the Jaguars. The frustrating part, this is so frustrating. No one gives a damn in Florida about that team. Nobody. Their games are blacked out all the time. Nobody shows up. They got a pool in the building. That's how much people don't care about the actual on-field product. It's so frustrating. I'll say this. I think Jacksonville, Texans, Chargers, those three teams have a more appeal. Maybe the Falcons too. Crap, we might be fifth in terms of head coaching and the pecking order. It's tough for me to say. You guys know the guys who I really like, so pick one from there. I'll say this: if you're gonna run it back with Sam Darnold, Arthur Smith or Brian Dable's probably your guy in terms of fixing him. So there's that on that. But this would be so much easier with Trevor Lawrence and the number one pick. But let's go Jaguars for now. Thank you for checking in, Jeff. Let's go to Anthony in Ronkonkoma. He's got some reaction too.
Hey, Matt, Anthony in Ronkonkoma here, man. Haven't called in the last couple months because I've been silently rooting for the tank like many other Jets fans, right? But I've still been listening to the podcast and watching it. Love what you're doing.
Thank you.
So it is Sunday at 9 o'clock. Tried to process what just happened, and I still can't. I'm like at a loss for words. I don't know how the Jets won this game. 17-point underdogs look horrible. They have Aaron Donald on the other side who blows people up constantly. And it was just bizarre. I don't even know what happened. So I'm grasping at straws here. But in Adam Gase's press conference, he talked to he answered a question saying that Sean McVay gave him a call during the week, and then Adam Gase started spouting about how he should, trying to bloviate about how he's doing a good job coaching.
Mm-hmm.
And I know that they're friends. Is there any way that Sean McVay maybe took it easy on Adam Gase? I don't know, man. That's all I could think of. I don't see any other way how they won this game. Let me know what you think. Have a good holiday, man. Thanks. Bye.
Thank you. You too. The decision on 3rd and 4th down is mind-numbing. How this team wasn't prepared, having a couple extra days too. This had blowout written all over it. There's a reason why they were 17-point underdogs. I really don't know. I don't know how they did it. They had no business winning that game. None. There were other times, how they blew the Raiders game, but then beat the Rams makes zero sense. None. The NFL is weird. There is no other explanation than it's just a weird sport. And I love it and hate it at the same time. Thank you, Anthony, for calling in. We're going to go to Josh in Woodmere, wants to talk Zach Wilson. And boy, do I want to talk about him too.
Hi, Matt. It's Josh from Woodmere. Just watched your video on what you would do with the with the number 2 pick, and I agree mostly. I love Zach Wilson too. He's also my number 2 quarterback, and I like him a lot. Like, even if you take away the stats, which his stats are unreal this year, and you just watch his film, his arm is ridiculous. He might have a better arm than Lawrence. He's definitely close, and that's definitely one of his strengths is his deep ball accuracy and just his ability to launch it deep. We saw it on that Hail Mary against Coastal Carolina, but and a couple of times this year he's really demonstrated it. But the only thing is, do you think I think we maybe could even trade down and still get him. Obviously it's risky, but do you think maybe taking him at 2 might be a little bit high? Because I think most teams will probably have Fields as a number 2, even though he's struggling. And I mean, it also depends what Fields does next week against Clemson. So I was thinking maybe trade down and take Wilson, but I don't know if you think he would be able to be there. Thank you for the show, and please let's get a Jags win. Jags win this week.
Yes, please. Thank you, Josh, for checking in. And Wilson had a great day yesterday. 425 passing yards, 3 touchdowns, along with 5 rushes for 12 yards and 2 touchdowns. So 5 touchdowns, 3 passing, 2 rushing, and 425 yards. I know they're playing Central Florida. I know that's not a great team. But this kid has played against good teams and good defenses. San Diego State is the number 4 defense in the country. He put up over 300 passing yards against them. He beat Tennessee last year. He beat USC last year. And he's right. You got to watch the film. You got to watch the traits. And there are things that I really like. The arm angle, for example, those throws are really interesting. That's a good thing. His arm strength to get the ball down the field and on a rope intrigues me. It really does. I don't want to move back. If the plan is to take a quarterback, you can take whichever one you want at number 2. You can. You don't want to play that game of moving back and hoping that your guy is there. Quarterback is the most important position in the sport. You can take your QB2 at 2. It's not a reach. You can't think like that. And maybe, I don't know, a month or 2 ago, people thought, oh, he was going to be, a mid-first rounder or late first rounder. That's not the case anymore. And after last night, I don't think he gets out of the top 5. So I'm not moving back for him. I'm taking him at 2. And the things that are being said about him as their critiques, again, I'm not saying that he's the same caliber of player or going to be what this player is in the NFL. I mean, I hope so, but I think that the chances of that are very slim. But the reason why Patrick Mahomes wasn't the first quarterback taken in that draft class was because they said it's the competition he plays against. It's a spread offense. That conference, they don't play defense over there. It's, who's he playing at Texas Tech? Should the Jets have taken him at 6? They should have took either Deshaun Watson or him, in 2017, but he went to 10. And I would say probably 9 of those teams are regretting that decision. And it's not always about what school they went to. It's about the characteristics that make up the individual player. Yes, guys are open. Of course, that happens. But guys are wide open for Oklahoma, and it looks like Kyler Murray and Baker Mayfield are doing just fine in the NFL. I'm not worried about his competition level, and I would absolutely take him with the second pick. He's my number 2 quarterback. I would take the best quarterback available at that spot, which in my mind is Zach Wilson. Thank you, Josh, for checking in. Next is Dan, and he's got some reaction as well.
Cool. Hope you're all right, man. It's Dan from New York. It's been a while. Man, listen, I thought I was all good, just, cruising on autopilot. We had that number 1 pick more or less in the bag. And here we are in only a situation that the Jets can put themselves in, a situation where all you had to do was just evaluate what you have. You don't have to be trotting Frank Gore out there. Like, what are we doing? We can't even lose right. It's crazy. And I understand it's the NFL, right? Teams play to win the game every week.
Yes.
But when I hear news like, we don't have a season to play for right now. Why are we not resting our vets, and why are we not seeing and evaluating our young guys? Like, I just don't understand what point there is in winning. Maybe that's what my question is. I'm really just venting right now, man.
I get it.
I thought I'd wake up feeling in a better mood, but this is just really, really tough pill to swallow. So
it sucks.
I guess I don't even have a question. This is just a typical Jets vent. I know you included, are probably in the same boat as I am right now. I guess I'm just lost for words, man. I guess where do we go from here? Thanks, man. Hope all's well. And by the way, I'm on Twitter now at Dan in New York. Feel free to follow along. Not big on doing plugs. Won't do it again. But hope all's well, man, and let's go Jags.
Let's go Jags, baby. God, we are hoping for a Jaguars win. I'm in the same boat, my man. It's so frustrating when it seemed like you were on a fast track to 0-16, man. They're not supposed to beat the Rams. They're not supposed to. The NFL is crazy, but you're 100% right. Ty Johnson should be playing over Frank Gore. That's stupid. And the comments from Adam Gase after the game were, oh, good thing we had a Hall of Fame back to make a play that I just want to strangle him, man. It's so frustrating. Oh my God, I can't wait. I cannot wait. Cannot wait till he gets fired. Counting down the days. Thank you for checking in, Dan. Next up, we are going to Phil in Brooklyn. He's got reaction as well.
Hey, man. It's Phil, Brooklyn, New York.
Hang on, I'm going to pause that a second. Every one of these voicemails starts with the, which I get it. I'm in the same boat. All right. Sorry, Phil.
Hope you're doing well. Happy holidays. 2 days ago, I was going to talk about, I was going to do a little mock draft for you. See how that is. And, we won. We lost, but we won. And also, a couple weeks ago, I was saying the Jets lost in Jets fashion with the Hail Mary formation. And now I'm saying the Jets won in Jets fashion. God, this is the worst game we could have won, in my opinion. It helps the Seahawks. It didn't help us whatsoever. And look, good for the players. They deserve it. The coaching staff, not including Adam Gase or Dalvin Rodgers, they deserve it. They really do. Also, I don't think Adam Gase was calling those plays. Those plays are too good for Adam Gase to be calling. Also, I got to tip my cap off for the defensive coach, the interim defensive coach.
Frank Bush
did very well that game. I thought. Great game. I think if the Jets were a good football team, we would have won that by so much more.
Agree. They left so many points on the board.
Jags versus Bears. let me know what you think. I genuinely think there's no chance we get Trevor Lawrence, and I'm not too upset about that. I mean, I am. Trust me, I'm very upset. But I could be happy with Justin Fields. I think we need to take a quarterback. I think after left people saying Sewell, I don't think we take him.
Agree.
I think Justin Fields needs to be our guy. I think, if they look at it with Deshaun Watson, he would be a number one overall pick if it wasn't for Trevor Lawrence, but Trevor Lawrence is generational talent. So, and if the Colts rest their starters, maybe. I don't think they will now. Great Merry Christmas present, right?
They got to do it one more time. They got to do it.
Merry Christmas or Happy Hanukkah. And stay safe. Bye.
Thank you, and happy holidays to you as well. I lean Wilson over Fields, but if Fields is your guy at 2, then yeah, take him. I'm with you on that. Here's what I'll say about the Bears maybe having a chance. Or, excuse me, the Jags maybe having a chance beating the Bears. Trubisky on the road, not nearly as good. Yes, they've been playing well, but it's, I don't know. We got to pray for one of those 130 yards, 2 interception Trubisky games. This is not going to be easy. It's not going to be an easy thing, but we're going to root like hell for those Jacksonville Jaguars. Thank you, Phil. We're going to go to Jacob from New Jersey. He wants to go draft. So let's talk about this draft.
Hey, Matt. It's Jacob calling from New Jersey. And the question that I have 2 questions. It's about the draft.
Sure.
So first question that I would have is, since we're sitting at number 2 now, we could potentially get someone like Zach Wilson or Justin Fields, but if you had to trade down with somebody, what team would you want? Would you want the Jets to potentially trade down with? And what would that trade package look like? What would be your perfect trade package to get if we had to trade down? And second, what coach or person out there do you think is more willing to take our head coaching job, considering we only have the number 2 pick now? And, we're not going to be getting probably Trevor Lawrence or something like that.
Right.
So who do you think is most willing to jump on board with the Jets and say, oh, hey, I do want to coach someone like a Zach Wilson or Justin Fields? I think it's a very interesting way you can go about it. Me personally, I like Zach Wilson a lot more than I like Justin Fields. I'm never high on anybody from Ohio State quarterback-wise. To me, they never plan out. It happens year after year. So I don't have much faith in Justin Fields to be that person to turn it around, especially from what I've seen from big games. But I love the show. Keep up the great work. And go Jets, but also go Jags.
Thank you so much for checking in. And I'm with you. Fields in the big games have scared me a little bit. Maybe that changes with his performance against Clemson, but time will tell in that area. It's tough to say with the coaching because it's tough to say for a lot of reasons. Obviously, with the number 1 pick, you're more likely to entice someone to come, but there's only so many jobs at the same time, so we'll have to see. My issue is if the Johnson family is like, hey, we're keeping Sam Darnold. It's not up to Joe Douglas. It's not up to the coach. Then you're going to really limit your options, which is not great. As for a trade, so, okay, if I have to trade back, then maybe I'm trading back to the Panthers at 4. And then I'd want a second this year and next year's pick also. And I would assume they would take either Fields or Wilson, and then you do whatever you're going to do at 4. I hope they take Fields, and then I hope Sewell's the pick at 3, and then I hope the Jets would take Wilson at 4. That would be my play in that spot. But I don't like trading out of it. But if I had to, I'm not trying to get outside the top 5. Thank you so much for checking in. Next up, we're going to go Matt, Burlington. Change it up a little bit. We're going to go positive with some memory lane stuff.
Hey, Matt. It's Matt from up in Burlington. And, I've been thinking about how we call this Jets therapy. And
yes.
I think an important part of therapy is talking about things that you love and things that are good. And I know right now with this year and this season, it's incredibly hard to talk about anything good, especially about the Jets. So I think it's time to look back into memories.
Okay.
And I'm curious, what are some of your favorite Jets memories? For me, and this one will be a little weird, my favorite memory is watching them lose the Week 17 game against the Bills, only because it was the first and only Jets game I've ever been to. So just that experience of actually seeing them live and seeing a whole bunch of Jets fans in Buffalo, even though we didn't get the outcome we wanted, it was so great just to be in that atmosphere, even though it kind of sucked the way things played out. So
yeah,
I'm curious about some of your memories since you go to actually see the games. So I'm curious to know what you got to say. All right, bye-bye.
Thank you for calling in. I like this. So I haven't been to as many games as people probably think. I usually go to I don't have season tickets. My friend does. I'm lucky to have one of my best friends growing up had season tickets. So I usually would go to one game, and I'm still close with him. So we go to one game a year usually. But my favorite game that I've ever been to was in 2015, Week 16 against the New England Patriots. Eric Decker's overtime touchdown. That was wild. The joint was going absolutely bananas. I thought for sure we were going to the playoffs. As far as other good Jets memories that I've had, two other ones really stick out to me. Number one is in 2010, the New York Jets beating the New England Patriots. I will never forget that game for as long as I live. That's been my peak as a New York Jets fan so far. And it's not even remotely close what's after that. But that game was just absolutely insane. Getting blown out in their building, in the regular season and then going back there and winning was unbelievable. And in 2004, winning in double overtime against the Chargers in the playoffs is another really good memory. That's one of my early Jets memories. The 2004, I was really into it. 03, I remember a little bit. 02, I was too young in 2002 to really know what was going on, but 03, I was at around 7-8 years old is when I was really getting into it. So that first playoff experience was awesome and something that I'll never forget. I like that. That was positive. You're right. That is a good thing. That is therapeutic to talk about the good times. Let's go to Vinnie in Connecticut, and Vinnie's got a really good point. Are the Jaguars really better than the Jets in terms of landing spots for Lawrence?
Hey, Matt, Vinnie in Connecticut. I gotta ask you. I mean, first off, I am just completely disappointed with the way things shook out over the weekend. I don't anticipate the Jaguars winning anytime soon. But with that being said, now that we've missed out on Trevor Lawrence and how, the media was bashing us all year long and, just the whole tank for Trevor campaign and the possibility of Trevor's, just sticking it to the Jets and pulling an Eli and holding out. Let me ask you, why are they not doing this with the Jacksonville Jaguars?
Preach.
Is there no possibility whatsoever that he'll do the same exact thing to the Jacksonville Jaguar franchise? Who exactly did they develop to be a franchise quarterback? David Garrard? Byron Leftwich? They haven't had a franchise quarterback since Mark Brunell. So why is nobody saying that about any possibility about Trevor holding out and refusing to play for the Jaguars? We're talking about a franchise that historically has put tarps on the upper deck of their stadium because they can't sell tickets.
Ooh.
We're talking about a team that historically has blacked out their games. And we're talking about a team who's always being mentioned as possibly moving to London. Let me hear your take. I got to hear this. I'm just so pissed off. But yeah, honestly, I hope he pulls an Eli and refuses to play there. That's how angry I am. Take care, Matt. Go Jets.
Yeah, I get it, dude. I get it. The notion that he wouldn't want to come to New York was always stupid, but to pretend that Jacksonville or Washington or Detroit or Cleveland before Baker Mayfield was or Cincinnati last year with Burrow is any sort of better situation? No, of course not. For all the reasons you listed off, Jacksonville is in as bad or even worse of a spot than the Jets. It's not better. You're 100% right. I could not have said it any better myself. The blackouts, moving to London, who wants to go play in Jacksonville? boy, it's so frustrating. It really is. Oh my God. Let's go to Jake in New Orleans, who wants to talk about Connor McGovern and his shots at the fans.
Hey, Matt. It's Jake from New Orleans again. I'm calling in today. I wanted to talk about Jet fans in general a little bit.
Sure.
One thing that really angered me this week was Connor McGovern taking a shot at the fans, saying, it's easy for you to want us to tank and lose while you're sitting at home eating pizza on the couch. And then it seemed like Gates took a shot at the fans, too, after the game by saying,
he did.
Good thing we had Frank Gore, veteran running back, to make the play when we needed it. And all this taking shots at us fans really angered me. Jamal Adams, for all his faults, the New York Jets fans have always been a group that he hasn't targeted and has shown respect to, because I think we're some of the most loyal and passionate fans. And it really made me angry that guys on the team are, targeting fans, saying if you want us to lose, you're not a real fan, and the coach taking a shot at the fans. It really angered me, and I wanted to get your thoughts and opinion on this. Weird week, very weird week. So go Jets.
Yeah, it's been a very bizarre week. And as far as it goes with McGovern and Becton, I touched on it earlier in the open, but essentially I don't agree with it. I think you shouldn't tell the fans how to root, but at the same time, I know these guys are frustrated. They're playing, for their livelihoods here, but the fact of the matter is that they don't know what it's like. They've been here for 5. Gase has been here the longest of those 3, and he's been here for not even 2 years yet. So it's complicated. It absolutely is complicated, and I don't particularly like it. When you're 0-13, now 1-13, you're probably going to say some things in frustration, which I think that's what it is. And they probably don't like to hear all that stuff. So I get it, but I don't at the same time. I understand Jake's frustration. Let's go to Travis in Ohio. He's excited about not going, or happy we're not going 0-16. Let's hear from Travis.
Hey, Matt.
Hey, buddy.
Travis from Ohio. Hey, buddy. I know it's not popular, and you probably talked all show about it, but I'm glad we didn't go over the season. I don't want to be dragged down by that and in a list with the Browns, Buccaneers, and Lions. So I'm actually glad that we somehow found a way to beat a really good team in the Rams. Sorry. My question is this. We might still have a chance at T-Law, Trevor Lawrence.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully, because that's who I want. And Jaguars can pull out a win or two, maybe.
I hope so.
In the next 2 weeks. Chicago sucks, and they could find a way there with some Minshew magic. And Indy could rest their starters in Week 17, so maybe, fingers crossed, we could still get T-Law. Anyway, what about Brian Kelly as a coaching candidate? I love me some Matt Campbell, and I know you've been preaching him too from the college ranks. But all the stuff that you've said that he has done as far as building programs and everything else, he's done in Notre Dame, which is not easy with their academics and everything else. And he has done there where he went, and he's 59 years old, so he isn't over the hill. Just what are your thoughts about Brian Kelly? Anyway, and I'm with you with no Jim Harbaugh. Cowher doesn't want to come here or coach again, so I don't blame him. So what do you think about Brian Kelly, especially if they get knocked out of the college football playoffs this year? Anyway, love you. Merry Christmas. Go Jags. Bye.
Thank you, buddy, for checking in. I hope you have a Merry Christmas as well. I like Brian Kelly. I think he's got a really good situation in Notre Dame. I don't think he leaves. I really don't. He wins wherever he goes. I mean, in his 17-year career, he's 155-60. His worst year was 4-8 in 2016, or 4-7, I guess, if you want to say at Central Michigan. But with Notre Dame since 2010, 8-5, 8-5, 12-1, 9-4, 8-5, 10-3, 4-8, 10-3, 12-1, 11-2, and 10-1. He wins. I'm not opposed to it. Like I said, I don't think he leaves there. I think he's got a really good situation at Notre Dame. So unfortunately, I don't think that's going to be a realistic option for the Jets, but I do like him a lot as a coach. Let's go to Weston in Florida. Wants to talk about QB2.
Hey, Matt. This is Weston from Florida, and I've called in a few times to look at the show. And I'm going to vent for a minute and then get into the question. Yesterday, I'm calling in on Monday. Yesterday, Sunday, right before the Rams game, every Sunday so far since the start of football season, the Jets have ruined by just being terrible. But yesterday I thought to myself, hey, it's going to be a fine Sunday. The Rams are infinitely better than we are. No chance we lose this game. And I wasn't even going to be able to watch it. My family was having our annual Christmas party. So I monitor it on my phone.
Bad decision.
And we win. And it just absolutely ruins the night.
I'm sorry.
And to top it all off, first off, obviously I did not want to win this game. I wanted to lose out. Not only do we ruin the tank, ruin my night, ruin my evening at my party, I don't get to see the first win of the decade because of it. This team is special. It really is. So my question for the week is, going into the draft, if we have the second pick, hopefully the Bears can win, or not the Bears, excuse me, the Jags.
Agreed.
Can beat the Bears and or the Colts. But going into the draft, who would you rather select, Justin Fields or Zach Wilson, and who do you think the Jets would select going into the draft? So yeah, that is the question. Hope you get to get a chance to answer it. So have a good day, and Duval.
Duval. I've said this already. I like Zach Wilson, so I would go with him. And it wouldn't be super surprising for Joe Douglas to do that either. And I'll give you a reason why. Last year, with his first pick in the first round, he took a quote-unquote risk going with Mekhi Becton. Now, it seemed to have panned out because this is a high floor, but also, a high ceiling but low floor guy because of his massive size. That was a risky pick. The consensus pick was probably Tristan Wirfs in that spot. But he went a little bit of a different direction, and it's worked wonders. Maybe he would do the same thing. That would be my reasoning behind it. I really think they still have to take a quarterback. I know I've said that already on this show. I'm not anti Justin Fields, but I don't like him nearly as much as what I like Zach Wilson. So that's what I would do. That's what I hope the Jets would do. And that's what I think Joe Douglas would do if it was up to him. Because I don't think he would want to run it back with Sam Darnold. How many chances do general managers get? The guy's was working in front offices for damn near 20 years. Finally got his GM job, and he's going to go down with the ship on Mike McCagnon's franchise quarterback. He'll want to take his own. And with what we've seen, he's not afraid to take risks. And a player with high upside, I like it. We're going to end on a fun one. This one's from Bobby, and we're going a kill, kiss, and marry. Let's hear it.
Hey, what's up, man? It's Bobby from California. So, I know that we're all pretty depressed right now about, the events of Sunday, but I thought it might, spark a little joy in your heart, play a little game, maybe a little kill, kiss, or marry.
Love it.
I got 3 groupings for you. I want to hear your thoughts. So the first grouping, I got Mark Sanchez, Geno Smith, and Sam Darnold.
Okay.
The second one, I got Trumaine Johnson, Le'Veon Bell, and C.J. Mosley. And the third one, I got Thomas Jones, LaDainian Tomlinson, and Matt Forte. Let me know your thoughts, man. I might want to write that down and can't hear from you. And go Jets.
Okay, so we got in Group 1, Sanchez, Geno, Darnold. Group 2 is True, Bell, Mosley. In Group 3, the running backs is Jones, Tomlinson, Forte. To me, the easiest one is the kill group. It's the group 2 with Tremaine Johnson, Bell, and Mosley. I don't necessarily dislike Bell or Mosley, but Tremaine Johnson was terrible with the Jets, so you got to get him out. I think this is tough. I think I would kiss the running backs, Jones, Tomlinson, Forte, and marry. I mean, Sam Darnold's someone you want to bring home to your parents, right? Sanchez, Geno, maybe not. But you can see the same thing for Jones and Tomlinson. I don't know. It's just, you got to give the edge to the quarterbacks. No. Oh, boy. Always got to end on a fun one. Thank you, Bobby. That gave me a nice little chuckle here to end the show. Let me know in the comments which of that grouping. So Sanchez, Geno, Darnold is group 1. Group 2, True, Bell, Mosley. Group 3, Jones, Tomlinson, Forte. Kill, kiss, because it's a family show, and marry. So let me know. And that's going to do it for episode number 45. Please subscribe wherever you get to the show. I really appreciate it. We're rolling along no matter what happens. If they get the number 1 pick, if they don't, if they take Darnold, if they trade Darnold, I'll be here. We'll be here for Jets Therapy. So thank you for tuning in. I'm Matt O'Leary, and I'll talk to you next time.